Absolutely love
What's
it.
the pros of it?
Well, it's... Rocky attacked me again. It hurts.
So next time we go to town, we're going to get the little Dremel attachment. That way we're going to cut off some of his spurs there.
Even though they're good for
protecting
the chickens, I'm protecting myself first. Because this dude hits me on the daily when I'm not paying attention, and it really does hurt. I told Brian, here's the headlines: Homesteader, Alaska woman gets murdered by a rooster. hits artery. What's that? The artery in your
femoral artery.
Hit femoral artery in your leg. Here's our little herder in training.
So the rooster does do a good job of letting us know when there's predators around. And he also keeps the chickens in line and keeps them from ganging up on one another. But yeah, the price you pay is you've got
one person he goes after.
Yeah, he it doesn't matter if you're an animal or a person. He's defending his girls, and he'll go after you too. That's the trade-off. So anyways, we're going to talk about the chicken coop, the coop we built, the pros and cons of it, and then the metal wire that we strung up for the electric fence. It is, I mean, we live in bear country, so we put the electric fence up, but the metal wire, we also live right on the beach. It lasted, what are we on, season 2, 3?
No, 2. I think that only lasted 2.
So it lasted 2 years, and it's time to replace it with some of the nylon threaded.
Yeah, because of our lovely salt water.
We love the salt water, but yes, it does a number on metal, all metal. So our coop itself is a 4 foot wide, and the length of it is 8 foot. So basically it's just a sheet of plywood, and then you cut a piece of plywood in half, and that's what you get for the sides.
As you can see, here's our lovely chicken coop my husband built. It's gorgeous. We ended up building it out. This is the front of our property right here. But even though they have a beautiful view, I want to show them their beautiful view.
Well, it's got a big satellite dish in front of it now,
Okay,
but
well, so what we learned was it's been a rough 2 winters with the chicken coop.
So we basically built this so they could get out of the coop and have the sunshine and everything. But the problem with that is we live in Southeast Alaska and it rains all the time. And so we had to add, boards to the side, because typically it's
90% of the time the boards are up all year round, which is really too bad. We take them off when it sunshines.
Or when it's not raining, like today. It's not sunny, but it's not raining.
Exactly. So it's kind of just like a big coop, but they really lack any sunshine. I mean, we hardly get any sunshine, but they lack light. And in the wintertime, when the snow hits the roof, then they're completely in the dark.
Yeah, so our roof is that clear panel stuff. But like she said, when the snow's on it, you can't get any light anyways. But we did build a large, I think it's a 20 by 25 foot enclosure that we've got nets up on, and they get out here every single day. Even when it's raining, they'll come out here and scratch around and everything. So that's good. Yeah, so if we were going to do it again, I think I would just build a larger coop for them to hang out in with and maybe put windows that you could open up. But I don't think we would do all this hardwire cloth and everything, just because it hardly gets used. We're just, if it rains a lot in your area, you're just gonna boarded up, because all you're going to do is just have all this turn to mud, and then...
Well, not only that, not only does the inside turn to mud and muck, it gets the food wet.
So we'll go inside and talk about the inside a little bit. So like I said, the concept is great, and if you live in a sunny area, then definitely I would do this. But for us, it's just not worth it, because they never get to... I mean, they obviously use this area, but it's boarded up 90% of the time, so that's... that was just a waste of hardwire cloth. Well, I mean, we're going to build a new coop, and we plan on getting goats in the near future. So, not near, next year probably. So, when we build the new coop, we'll just build a larger structure, and we're going to build a walk-in structure.
So that was another thing that I didn't think about when we did the structure, was if we wanted the chickens to have baby chickens, you know, there was no place for them to do it in there, number one, safely. You know, the chickens, let's say she does, you know, lay her chickens in there, but they're going to fall out of here and break a leg, or...
Yeah, there's no way to really get out without walking down this plank.
Yes, there is no way. So we would have had to have taken the chickens right away from the mom, and I didn't want to do that. I would like to be able to, you know, have a big enough barn that they have their own spot safely, that they can keep their chickens, but yet I don't have to take them, pull them in the house and raise them with a heat lamp. So
yeah, so the next coop that we build, and we're going to build it up inside the tree line. I think we're going to build it where we can separate it off from, keep the mom and the chicks separate, so all the other chickens don't just go after the baby chicks until they're large enough to be introduced. I mean, it'll just be they'll be able to see each other and smell each other, but they won't be able to contact each other.
Or if you are a chicken wrangler and you have, let us know how you guys do it. You know, what is your structure like? Do you keep the mom with all the rest of the chickens because it's not a problem then? Or, you know, let us know. I'm really curious of how everybody else does it. So when we do build something, somebody else can tell us how to keep their chickens.
Sorry, there's a boat coming out. He's not coming over here. I think he's going... There's a bay over there. I think he's going fishing. For this, because you can't get into it, we just built this little rectangle platform as their perch. We were going to just go long ways, but then we'd have to deal with the door, putting it in a different area. And also, if you go long ways, you'd have to physically get inside the coop every time you wanted to clean it, because there would be poop all the way at the other end. So we did this to keep all the poop where we could reach it. But like I said, it would just be so much simpler if it was a walk-in coop. So
yeah,
that's what we're going to do next time. The other issue with having, we didn't have enough overhang. We have weather stripping on the door, but even when you close the door, rain does get past this, and because it rains a lot, we always have to put up like a plastic bag over this, or like a little plastic tarp, because that's one thing you don't want to do, is you don't want the chickens to be in a wet environment, because that can cause respiratory problems for the chickens. So the pro of having a coop that's off the ground is you get to utilize all the space underneath the coop. I mean, that's just added extra walking around area for the chickens. But like I said, if you had a walk-in coop, it wouldn't be a big deal, because they would be able to use that area anyway. So just stuff to think about. These are the things that we've encountered with our chicken coop. And like I said, we're going to be building like a little barn area for the animals and some storage later on. And so on our next coop, we're taking the lessons that we learned and going to implement them on that new coop. We'll probably just turn this into a smaller greenhouse and just keep the structure as it is. So Skipper is a part sheepdog, part poodle. And if we can keep him from trying to herd the chickens, I think he'll be a nice little little guard dog for the chickens.
I think so.
He loves just hanging out here and watching them.
Maybe that's the old sheepdog in him.
But he also gets excited sometimes and starts to chase them, and we have to put the kibosh on that real quick because we don't want him chasing the chickens. That's not his
That's not going to be his role.
That's not his role, yeah. So for the outside structure, what I would do different is what you can see. We didn't think about adding a predator net, and so I would have put in taller post so I didn't have to screw in these 2x4s to extend the post up to be able to get the netting off of the chicken coop. So that's something else to think about. The area, they love the area. They love their little perch up here. They don't use the swing a whole lot, but they all, and especially in the summertime, they'll all sit up there on top of that and just look outside and watch everything. The slant on the roof, for us, the pitch is just fine. We don't get as much snow as the interior does, so it'll snow like a foot, and then it'll warm up and start raining, and all the snow will, when you just come up here with like a little snow rake and get all the snow off the roof, it ain't that big of a deal. We haven't had any issues with that. So for our nesting box, we just put a little extension out of the coop. It worked out just fine. There's no issue with the nesting boxes, except for I came down today and there was 2 chickens trying to get in the same box. That's just typically how it is. You think, so that's, if you're thinking about building a coop, you don't need as many nesting boxes as you think you do, because 6
of them, and they only want to use 1.
Yeah, so we've got 3 nesting boxes, and they'll typically use the same one, or most of them will use the same one, and then somebody will go to a different one. But there's always 1 nesting box out of the 3 every single day that's completely empty. I don't know why. That's just the way chickens do things. And it's not the same box all the time. Sometimes the box that's empty today will have all the eggs in it tomorrow. Who knows the rhyme or reason of why they do what they do. So for our water system, so we did a rain catchment, right? So we got a 50-gallon barrel here, and in the summertime, this is perfect. In the winter, I just dropped this little aquarium heater down inside there. So I used to tie a little rock to it to keep it submerged, but so you don't need to. It doesn't need a rock. It'll just stay down on the bottom. Last winter, the barrel that we had here completely froze. It froze solid, and it actually split the barrel on the seam here. It split the barrel on the seam. So this year last year we got the aquarium heater, put the new barrel in. This winter we were in single digits this winter for a week or 2, and nothing happened. We had water here that was accessible all winter long. And actually, because of the heater in the water, typically you could always use the spout here. Even in the cold, even in the single digit weather, you could typically always use the spout. So that was always a plus. So on the inside here, these water cups, they work just fine in the summer. In the winter, however, they freeze up. So what we went with, thanks to some awesome commenters who own chickens themselves, is we just went with these a metal drinking and a base here. We just plugged the base into a surge protector up there, and that keeps the water from freezing all night long. Now, because we're on solar, we would turn it off at night so we weren't just heating water for no reason, and we'd bring the water up inside the cabin and then just bring it back out the next day. But even in single digits, it kept the water from freezing, no issue. What did you hate the most about the chicken coop?
I think that for me, it was if they decided to poop on the other side of the chicken coop, I had to take out the roost, and then I had to haul my butt in there and crawl in there and clean out bits and pieces of poop on the other side. So that definitely wasn't my favorite. I'd like to be able to just walk in and, you know, do my cleaning. So I guess maybe that was kind of my least.
That's definitely a con of this system.
Yeah.
There are channels out there that make like a sliding floor that you could slide out to clean, so that's something to think about. But the way we assembled our coop, there was not enough room to do a sliding thing, and to be honest, I didn't know. I didn't think they'd poop back there that much, and they really don't, but every once in a while you'll have somebody that just goes over there and takes a big dump. But while we're up here, let's check on the solar. You can see what that it was overcast. We're getting 193 watts. So far we've collected 0.2 kilowatts. Not a whole lot, but every little bit counts. The last full sunny day that we had, which they are far and few between, but that day we collected 4 kilowatts, which is super awesome. But typically we don't collect that much. So anyways, while I was up here getting stuff, I think this is what we're going to do. We're going to build our barn up here where the logs are now, right? We'll have the chickens and the goats here, and then this whole area from the trail over to the compost, we will fence all that off, and that'll be where all this area be where the chickens and stuff can roam. There's a few trees in here we'll have to drop because there's a couple of them that are standing dead. Well, one of them. Then we've got a partially standing dead there. So anyways, that's our game plan. We're gonna go down there now and string up this electric fence. Keep these girls protected this springtime. All right, so here's what I'm talking about. See how that just broke free? This is all getting really, it's all getting a little bit on the brittle side, so we're just going to go ahead and replace all this, and this should last a lot longer. We've had this electric fence up over the garden for I think 4 years now, so that stuff has worked just fine. It's the metal stuff that just doesn't last long enough in the saltwater environment. We'll get it all strung up and fixed up in a jiffy. white wings. The little skipper came out. Look, little skipper came out to help guard the chickens. All right, so for this, I'm just gonna thread that through there, run the wire down, connect it to this one. That's how we did it last time. It worked out just fine, so that's what we're gonna do this time. All right, that should be it. We only have one more connection to connect this side of the fence to the garden side. Actually, I think I'll test this out now because I have some of the garden stuff ripped up and it's touching the ground, so that it will ground it out. So we'll hook this up, get a little piece of grass and test it out and see if we get a little jolt to the body. All right, so we got everything hooked up. There's the wire going down, connected to that. We're in the green. We'll test it out. All the foliage is dead, so we're just gonna do this the old-fashioned way. It works. I don't think it's as powerful. Uh-oh. The dogs haven't. The new dogs have not learned the power of the fence yet, so we'll we'll give them a couple more months before we let them test it out. Hey, what do you got? Hey, drop it. What is that? No. She found a plug. Oh, hey, off camera, I was like, my boots are grounded. So let me touch the ground with my bare hand and then touch the fence. No, it definitely works. I think I went into cardiac arrest. Oh goodness. All right, anyways, that's it. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next week. Well, you got a stick? You playing stick with Skipper?